Hey besties, I missed you guys so much. And I was like, you know what? I went on a trip recently and I was like, you know what I gotta do? I got to make me a video because I had a lot of time to think and just like, sort through some stuff and get some stuff together. So the video that I want to do today is a video on growing up as the oldest daughter and how that was as a kid and how it affects me now in my life as an adult. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. You are gonna love it here. And for everybody else, hey besties, I missed y'all. We're just gonna get right into it. Yeah, so as I said before, we're gonna talk about like what it was like for me growing up, being the oldest daughter. I got a bottle of Stella Rose, this one. Yeah, I love Stella Rose down. So I was like, for this conversation, a girl gonna need some wine. So you know what, let me take a sip. Okay, so let's get started. So as I already said, I grew up as the oldest in a single parent household. It was only me, my mom, and my little brother. You guys know how it is when it's a single parent. She worked 2 jobs and she worked all of the time. So being the oldest daughter, I feel like I had to care for my little brother a lot, and I feel like at a young age I was taught what being responsible is, like responsibility, stuff like that. And so my mom, like, I feel like growing up, me and my little brother, we didn't have to want or need for anything because my mom worked all the time, just trying to get us shoes and clothes and keep us together, keep a roof over our heads and stuff like that. I feel like it caused me to have to grow up pretty fast, like as a kid. Like for example, I remember being in the 1st or 2nd grade, I used to have to order cabs from my school to my mom's job because we couldn't take the bus home because she was at work. She used to work, I remember, a 9 to 5. So we couldn't catch the bus home. She taught me how to just call a cab and get them to take us from the school to her job. And yeah, as a kid, that is a lot. Like, that's a big responsibility. Like in the 1st or 2nd grade, that's like what, 6 or 7 years old? Like, that's a lot. And it might not seem like a lot, but for a kid, it's a lot. Like, so and those tiny little brains trying to remember everything. So that was something I had to do. And also, like, while she would work, I would have to, like, make sure my little brother ate, make sure his homework was done, make sure my homework was done, and just things like that. And at times when we had to be home, like on weekends or whatever, I used to have to make sure we washed, got up, did like cleaned our face, ate, and cleaned up, just stuff like that. Because I feel like I already said cleaned up. Did that one sip get me? Nah, I was sipping before that. But yeah, I used to have to do that. And I kind of feel like growing up, like being the oldest and doing all of that, I feel like nobody ever took the time to like check in with me and like see if I was okay, like to sit down and talk with me or just allow me to vent about the things that I was going through as a kid. Like I was just always seen as, oh, she's strong, or oh, she's okay, just because I was the oldest. But I feel like nobody ever took the time out to like ask me if I was okay or not. And I wish I had that more because it was times when I was going through things as a kid and I needed somebody to talk to, but I just didn't have nobody to talk to because I knew my little brother, he wasn't gonna understand it, and I knew that my mom, she was always busy at work, and everybody else just always assumed that I was okay. And so yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I feel like we didn't have to want or need for anything, but if I had to think about like what I felt like I was lacking in my childhood, it was like the feeling of true love. Like, I was the oldest, so it was just kind of like I felt forgot about all the time, or I felt like I had to, I don't know, like the black sheep kind of. Like, I used to feel like my mom like put more care in my little brother, or she loved him more, and it was seen as, oh, you're the big sister, so parents have to show the little one more love. But I feel like when you get older and you look back, you be like, hey, like you can do both. Like you can love on both kids or show both kids love while one of them is also understanding like I'm the oldest, so he's gonna get more, you know, but it wasn't like that. And so I kind of felt like I was forgot about a lot. And it was just kind of like, I don't know, that affected me a lot as a kid. And I feel like when I used to try to like talk about it with my mom or vent to somebody, it was always seen as, oh, I'm too busy to hear this, because you know, like sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. So it was seen as, oh, I'm too busy to be fooling up with this nonsense that you feeling as a kid. So because I was a kid, my feelings weren't real, or I was being grown, or, you know, being fast because I was speaking on my feelings. So I feel like at a young age, I was kind of taught to stay quiet and make the other person happy. Like, don't say how you feel because it's seen as a bad thing. So I remember, cause y'all, I'm a Virgo, so I gotta put that out there. So I feel a lot. So shit, I feel a lot now. So just imagine like kid me, like wow, like that's a lot of feelings to be carrying. And so I know that when I used to get sad a lot, or I used to cry, I remember my mama would see me crying or whatever, and she made it seem like it was a bad thing to cry, because she'll be like, what you crying for? You ain't got no reason to be crying, like, you know, just stuff like that. So at a young age, I learned to hide the way I was feeling, because you know that, like, so I remember I would go in the bathroom, and I still do this now as an adult. So yeah, I would go in the bathroom and cry, and then just come back out and with a smile on my face, because I guess I was just taught at a young age that like if I was happy or had a smile on my face, everybody else was happy, and that yeah, like, so it was just better to just act like you was happy even if you wasn't. I remember what else? At times whenever I would have to do stuff for my little brother, and y'all, I would really be at moments where as a kid I felt like, dang, like I'm tired, like I ain't up for this today, but nobody would ever say, hey, like, are you up to do this today, or are you okay with this? It was always just do this, do that. You know, I was the oldest, so I felt like I had no room to like do things for me, like make time for me. Or I felt like I was never able to make mistakes, because it was always seen as, oh, you don't want to do that because you're the oldest, so you need to be an example for your brother. So that, and so now I can kind of start talking about some of the things that, some of the ways that they affect me now as an adult. So when it comes to the fact that I couldn't really express myself as a kid, I feel like now as an adult, like y'all, I struggle with that a lot. Like communication and stuff like that. I don't always know how to say how I'm feeling or express myself, because I guess at a very young age it was put there like, hey, like, you know, walking on eggshells type thing. So now it just kind of feels like when I'm doing it, I'm always worrying about like how the other person gonna take it, or how they gonna feel, or if I should even act like I'm just pretend that I'm okay, because shit, is it okay to say how I feel? You know, because I feel like the times that I tried, like it didn't work out. So now as an adult, I do that a lot. Like I'll say stuff, but I won't say too much from worrying about like how the other person feel. And it's kind of like I'll say something, and I will like expect somebody to know what I mean when I ain't really said nothing. And sometimes it'd be like, girl, like you ain't even really said nothing for real. Like you want them to try to guess. And that's something that I realize I do now. I would rather people guess how I feel than to be vulnerable and come out and say it. Cause it's just hard, y'all. Like I try, it's hard. But I'm working on it, and God is working on me. And so yeah, like I struggle with communication and expressing myself. When it comes to like taking care of myself, that takes me back to the trip that I was telling you guys about in the beginning. I recently planned a trip with a lot of close people to me, and I went to Florida. And, y'all, that was my first time doing something for my birthday, and it's not my birthday yet. My birthday ain't until September the 5th, but that was an early birthday trip, and it was something I needed. Like I really feel like I needed it. And so Where was I at? I lost my train of thought. Where was I at? Yeah, so that was my first time like going on a trip, like, y'all, without like worrying about like, and don't get me wrong, I had my moments when I worried and I second guessed myself a lot with that trip. Like I was just kind of like, dang, like what if you spend this money and you have to do this, or what if you do that and then Harmony wind up needing something. So it was kind of like me being all over the place from like just worrying, because I always just had to worry, I guess, and just like always putting others before myself and not forgetting to take care of me sometimes. So it was kind of like, girl, like it was kind of like this side of me saying like, girl, you need to do this for yourself. Like the bills are paid, Harmony is good, everything is, you know, in order, like go have fun. And then it was that part of me that from my childhood, from taking care of people all the time or putting other people before me and putting myself on the back burner, it was kind of like, girl, like no, like, you know, like you can't do this is not a good time. So long story short, I ended up going on the trip, and y'all, I had the time of my life. Like I had so much fun because I realized I'm at a place right now in my life where I feel like it's self-discovery. Like I'm trying to figure out who I am outside of being a mom and outside of being a daughter and a sister and a friend, like, you know, just things like that. Like I'm trying to learn how to balance out and also take care of me while taking care of other people, because taking care of other people was taught to me at a young age, but I forgot to take care of me sometimes. So I need to learn how to take care of me, because I was me before I was a sister. I was me before I was a friend. I was me before I was a mother. So I gotta take care of me. And that's what that trip taught me, and everything that came with planning the trip. It taught me that it's okay to fit me into, like, I can take care of other people and love on other people, but I don't have to forget about me. So yeah, that trip taught me a lot, and I'll get back into it once I like finish like the things that I want to cover. And like when it comes to what else I said, nobody like showing up for me that much as a kid, like, and me like dealing with things on my own, because I was the oldest. I feel like now when I'm going through stuff, nobody would ever know, because I've learned to just keep things bottled up and keep a smile on my face and act like I'm okay when sometimes I'm not. And just, I don't know, I don't vent, and I barely go to other people or allow people to be there, because I guess I just learned at a young age how to take care of it by myself and get through it by myself. So now that's something that I do. And y'all, it affects me so much. Just like, you know, all of the other things. But I'm trying to learn, like, it's okay not to be okay. And that when I'm going through stuff, it's okay to allow people in. Like, some people actually want to be there and help me. Like, I have to remind myself that even though I wasn't taught it at a young age, and like a lot of the wrong things was like screwed in my head, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay not to be happy all of the time, and to be able to show that and express that. And it's okay to, you know, just like, what I'm trying to say, need somebody instead of me always being needed. Like, I had to learn that, and at a young age, I feel like respect was kind of like beat in me and kind of like shrewd in me or whatever. It started at a young age, and I used to just think that this was something silly, but when I started to get older, I started to like realize like what it was for. At a young age, like my mom, she used to make me wear like big t-shirts like all the way down to like my knees, just long shirts, and also I had to put pants under it. You know, like most of the time with little girls, like we sit and we have to have our legs closed and we have on long shirts, but you don't have pants or nothing on under it. Well, my mom used to make me wear big t-shirts and pants, and I guess it was kind of like a respect type thing that she was teaching me at a young age. I don't know, for her boyfriends that was around. And so now that I know what the reason is, I realize Like, as an adult, when it comes to me being around like friends or family, boyfriends, I overdress myself, feeling like, you know, because I feel like I have to. And I wear things that I'm uncomfortable in, and I do a lot of things that I don't want to do sometimes just to respect other people, because at a young age I was taught that I had to. And that takes me to a question that people always say, like, why, girl, you don't never have on clothes, or why you always wearing something short? Because at a young age, like, I had to overdress myself when I was a kid. I didn't need to be taught that at that age, you know? So now I wear what I want. Yeah, like, I get tired of always looking like out for the next person, when I know I'm one of those types of people. I want respect, so I know I have to give it, you know? And it don't take all of that. But I'm working on unlearning it. And what else? Wait, one more. Okay, what else? Because it's a lot of things. Oh, at a young age, I feel like I wasn't protected like a little girl should be. Like, to say I was around like a bunch of adults or people looking over me, I wasn't safe. And I say that because wait, did my voice just get shaking? I say that because, like, when I was younger, I was kind of touched on like way too many times for, you know, for it to be okay. Like, it was never okay, but that was kind of like, that's kind of like crazy. And I just kind of felt like when I was younger, I was scared a lot. I already couldn't express myself and talk, and then like being violated as a kid and also not being able to tell that because you don't know if you're allowed to was bad. Like, I feel like I like, that put me through a lot as a kid. Like, knowing that I was being touched on and being threatened by the person doing it. That if I told, they was going to tell that I did something, like that I was being bad or something like that. And you know, just, and then having your family, when you do try to vent, say, hey, you been too grown, or you just being sensitive because you a kid, or your feelings don't matter, you don't even know what you're talking about, stuff like that. To the fact that I had to hold all of that in. Now as an adult, like, that goes to my daughter. Like, y'all, I am so overprotective over her, and I guess it's because nobody was that protective over me, and I'm so attentive with her, and it's because nobody was that way with me. And that's why I never want her to have to go through that, because I know what that shit felt like as a kid. And I even sometimes sit down with her and I try to teach her things like, hey, if somebody touch you here, that's bad. You come and tell me. Or if somebody do this, you tell me everything. Like, this is okay and this is not okay. I try to have that talk with her at a young age, because I feel like as parents, we don't do it trying to avoid things when really we need to just have it, because it might not happen, but it's also a chance that it could happen. So just have the conversation. It's kind of like mothers prepping us for when our period comes, you know, our monthly. So that type thing. Just prepping you, letting you know that if this happened, I'm here and you have a safe place. So, and also with that, I realized it puts me in this place where if I have like a lot of anxiety. I don't like to be touched. Like, I don't like for nobody to just be touching me. And if I allow somebody to touch me, it's because like I am really comfortable with that person, or we're there, like we're here. But I don't like to be touched. So when a person touches me, sometimes I just be like, did you just touch me? Like, that ain't okay. You know, so, and I get really uncomfortable fast. So I like to be in safe environments, and I just want to be around somebody who makes me feel like I am safe and protected. So yeah, those are like a couple of things that I dealt with, like that affects me now as an adult. And y'all, when I tell y'all that trip I took, it made me realize a lot. Like, so the trip that I took to Florida, I went to Orlando, and I've never been there before. I had a flight booked, but I don't know, I just sat with myself long enough, and I was like, you know what? I'm always rushing things in my life, feeling like I need to do this, or it's a deadline for this and that in my life. Always rushing something. I kind of wanted to slow it down a little bit. So I took the bus. It was a 6-hour ride there and a 6-hour ride back. When I tell y'all, they gave me so much time to just sit with myself. I journaled, I wrote, I thought, and I figured so much out. And I realized it's okay to unlearn some of the things that we learned in our childhood, because it's not how, you know, it's not how we have to think. Like, how we were raised and the adults that we grew up to be are two different things. Like, yeah, that has a lot to do with it, but it's okay to unlearn some things, because we grow up and we start thinking for ourselves, and we start thinking that the way that our parents taught us to do this, we might grow up and disagree with it, you know? And maybe the way that they taught us to do this, we see how it benefited us. But, you know, you get what I'm saying? It's okay to unlearn some of those things that, like, put you in bad situations, or like you kind of had that feeling as a kid that you knew wasn't right, but you grew up and you kind of like realize why you do it a lot, and you're just like, okay, I can keep doing this way. Like, it's got to be another way around it, that type thing. And those was like a couple of things. And I know it's probably some other ones that I didn't cover. Oh, like being a kid, like, and just being told what to do all the time, and ran over, and people making decisions for me all the time. Like, they'll tell me, hey, don't do that, either because I was doing something that they knew was going to get me ahead of them, or something that they were jealous about, or maybe something that they wanted to do, but or had an idea about, but just never did. So that type of thing. Like, I remember when I was younger, for example, I remember one of my cousins was like, hey, you don't need to do that, or don't do this because this gonna happen. And so I remember not doing it, and then they did it, and it was just kind of like, hey, but you told me it was a bad thing, so if I did it, but you did it. So now it's kind of like this type of thing where I don't like to be told what to do. I'm like a daredevil. Like, if I want to do something, you can say, hey, it's sharks in that water, and I'm gonna go find out for myself, because I learned at a young age not to listen to everything everybody say, because you don't know what's best for me. You don't always know what's best for me. Sometimes I can trip up and you could be telling me something that I need to know, but you don't know what's best for me. Like, sometimes I don't even know what's best for me. And I spend every day with myself. So, and that's why I trust God at. But yeah, like, all of those things and like how they affected me, I just realized it's okay to unlearn some of them, and to grow up and do things a different way, in ways that work for you. And so, yeah, like, for anybody who, you know, had a similar childhood, or realize a lot of the things that you do, or the ways that you act, is because of your childhood, honey, it's okay to unlearn it, or it's okay to go back and, you know, just try to get to the root of it in order to change it. Because I realized a lot of the things that I was taught as a kid, they don't work out for me as an adult. Like, communication, I have to communicate. Like, I realized the toll that they have took on me, like, y'all, just throughout my life, like, in me trying to maneuver through things. Like, I have to communicate, I have to express how I feel, you know. Like, a lot of the things that I was taught that wasn't okay was just kind of like things that I need to learn how to let go of, because in the real world, and when you get grown, you will just be like, okay, this ain't working. And so, yeah, you're gonna get through it, because I'm getting through it. And yeah, I just wanted you to know it's okay to unlearn it. And so, yeah, that was just a video about my childhood and how things kind of affected me then and now, and just like things I was taught. So I hope that this video reaches whoever it needs to reach. I love you guys, and until next time. Yeah.